back on the couch. Here we go. Maybe I should get a little bit more comfortable. Should I put the pillow here? Does that make it? No, not feeling the pillow. Not feeling the pillow. All right, so I want to talk about a particular case with this topic. And when I say case, I mean a specific client that I have personally worked with. This is a 29-year-old female, and you guys know my mantra. You know what I repeatedly harp on, and that is the fact that, you know, these topics, nutrition as a whole, nutrition work, is very personalized. But I think this particular case can be relatable, and, you know, hopefully some people can learn from this. But this 29-year-old female came to me complaining of, you know, a lot of puffiness in her face, a lot of puffiness in her midsection, a lot of struggles with inflammation in her body for years, eating about a 1,200 calorie diet every day, very, very active individual, pretty much does high intensity workouts, HIIT workouts, interval training every single day. And she has not been able to see the progress she wants with her body. She's sick of feeling inflamed. She's not able to sleep at night. She has no energy. She's complaining of, you know, a lot of sweet, a lot of salty, a lot of fatty food cravings. And she just feels like she's not herself. She's like living out of her body type of thing. So without getting any testing done, I was pretty clear on pinpointing that she most likely had high cortisol levels in her body. And so this female actually went and got a comprehensive hormonal panel test done, which basically verified that yes, her cortisol levels were very much through the roof. And when I talk about cortisol, cortisol is a hormone in your body that helps regulate your metabolism. Now, because your metabolism is responsible directly for converting the food you put into your body into energy, a disruption in this process can be pretty harmful. It can lead to effects such as weight gain, fatigue, depression, and even more severe health complications like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and even, you know, a decrease in your immune system's ability to perform properly. So now when we're talking about high cortisol levels as related to stress, first you have to really work to identify what internal and external stressors you are experiencing in your life. For this particular client, one of those things was the intensity of her workouts every single day. And let me tell you guys, I was in this position. When I tell you, you know, my battles and my history and my past, years ago, I was that girl, you know, coming from my history as a runner. I felt like I always had to do high intensity workouts. I always had to overexhaust myself and overexert myself every single day in order to burn calories, in order to feel good, and in order to look good, or so I thought. When really I was doing myself more harm than good. And in this particular client's case, the only workouts that she believes are effective for herself are high intensity workouts. And I'm talking about HIIT classes every single day, and not realizing the amount of stress that puts on your joints, on your body, and the amount of inflammation she was experiencing just from that one factor alone. So discussing methods of, you know, incorporating more low impact workouts into her routine, taking more rest days, going on more walks, taking a day literally just to do yoga, that was an important topic that we had to dive deep on. Now, this particular client also very much struggled with years of under eating, putting her body at that level of stress in that way. You know, years of yo-yo dieting, years of trying different fat diets that she saw all over the internet. You know how that one goes. So with her, we had to work on also reverse dieting in a way that was slow and comfortable for her. And when I talk about reverse dieting, I'm talking about slowly increasing her caloric intake day by day, throughout the week, over a long period of time, working on eating more frequently, eating more regularly, and again, in a way that made her feel comfortable. And in order to get her body back to a level of maintenance where her metabolism was more regulated, she felt satisfied, she felt energized throughout the day, her blood sugar levels started to become more regulated, and her cravings in turn started to decrease. When your blood sugar levels are off, not only do you have crazy sugar cravings, your sleep is affected, the way you feel energized is affected, so many factors. So working on slowly getting her back to increasing the amount of calories she was putting into her body. And when I talk about this, I'm also talking about her specifically being as active of an individual as she is at her age, her gender, working to get back to a maintenance level for her body. And that consisted of actually, eating more for her. She was eating at too low of a deficit, where her body was naturally actually clinging on and holding on to fat cells, storing fat in her body, instead of using that food that she's putting into her body for fuel, and then burning that energy throughout the day, right? So when it comes to sleep, y'all, your body has a natural circadian rhythm, and that is essentially your sleep-wake cycle, right? So as related to cortisol levels, and I'll talk about this client in particular, she came to me, again, complaining of going to sleep extremely tired, waking up extremely tired, day by day, day from day, day to day. You know what they say. And we're talking about your circadian rhythm and your sleep-wake cycles. Your cortisol levels in your body are naturally highest in the morning to help you wake up and help you rise out of sleep. They are supposed to be less elevated at night to help you wind down and go to sleep. But if you are an individual who is constantly putting yourself in a fight or flight mode where you can't shut your mind off, you're constantly in that state of stress at night when you're supposed to have lower levels of cortisol, your levels of cortisol are high, you're not able to sleep through the night as well. And sleep is essential. This is a whole different topic. Essential to your energy, to your productivity, your ability, again, if you're on a weight loss journey to lose weight, to feel good, and just to be healthy overall. So with her, also working on, techniques to help her essentially wind herself down at night. And let me be completely transparent. Y'all, I'm still working on this. I can give all the recommendations and the tips in the world, but very transparently speaking, this is difficult for me, especially lately. We are all busy professionals. We all have a lot going on, not to mention technology rules our world. Sometimes it's hard to shut it off. Sometimes it's hard to unplug. But it's something that I worked on with her, techniques of winding herself down at night, practicing more mindfulness throughout her day, whether that looked like taking a breath, literally just taking a few breaths, whether it's stepping outside in the sun, whether it's going on a walk, taking 30 minutes out of her day to read, listen to music, something just to quiet her mind, because this is someone, and this is a client who, just like a bunch of us, is a very busy high professional, and she has a lot going on throughout her days. And sometimes I think a lot of us forget that it is so important to shut our minds off. And let me get into this topic. Another stressor and another pinpoint of a stressor in a lot of our lives could be the fact that a lot of us are very self-critical. Imagine the amount of mental stress you put on yourself if you're constantly bullying yourself every day, if you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, I have to go do this HIIT class in order to feel good, in order to look good. Imagine how much stress that alone is putting on your body, and all of these factors play a huge role in your cortisol levels in your body. Circling back and saying all this to say, we're not in the old days where we experience high cortisol levels from being chased by a tiger. You know what I mean? We have a lot going on, but it is so important to really start to be in tune with your body, especially if you are someone, and especially a female, if you are experiencing, because I get a lot of females that come to me talking about this particular topic, especially if you are experiencing inflammation constantly in your body, you feel like you are doing all the right things, you're constantly on go, take some time to slow it down. Take a few rest days. It's not going to kill you. It could actually progress you. And just being mindful of not overdoing it on your body, and remembering that less is more. Please take that from me. And if you want any personal recommendations, please reach out to me directly, because this topic, and even the topic of high cortisol levels in general, can be expanded so many different factors in our lives, right? So this particular case was just a little bit of an example, but also just want to put a reminder out there, the importance of slowing it down. Take care of yourself, especially in this crazy world we live in. And I'm coming back at y'all very, very soon.